I'm Stu Kohn, and we're live at Piscataway High School Gym for the 2008 GMC Wrestling Championships. Now I'm being joined by Sayreville. It's Ramon Santiago. Ramon, you're wrestling 140 pounds tonight. You're in the finals, and I've watched you wrestle for the last couple of years, and I have to say you've made some phenomenal improvement, especially since last season. What do you contribute your recent success to?
Well, I put a lot of hard work into summer. Like our team, we did a lot of summer camps, tournaments, and I'm always like in the room practicing hard with DeLuco. He pushes me a lot. I mean, he's also in the finals, and like other teammates like Jarrett, Rhett, even Mike Knight, they're always pushing me to work harder, and Danuto's always on me, so it pushes me more and more.
You and two of your teammates are in the finals. Right now in the team race, you have 162 points. The predominant champion every year, South Plainfield, trails you by 5 points at 157. Any additional pressure wrestling for the team as well yourself in the finals?
Well, I think it's pressure, but I don't want to look at it like that. Like, I'm just going to go out there and wrestle my best and do it for the team, and I know they're relying on me, so I'm going to do the best I can.
And your team's had a lot of adversity to overcome this season. A couple of your teammates lost a parent, and your coach, John Danuto, is going through some tough times with his dad right now. Has that added anything to the team? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it made us closer as a team. We're like now like a family. So like when we're out on the mat, like we wrestle for all each other. Like even if somebody's losing, they're about to get pinned, they know to fight off their backs more, because like it's not only for them, it's for the whole team. Now we're closer. We do everything together, and we should appreciate things more now.
Well, for Piscataway TV and myself, we wish you the best of luck in the finals. And for Stu Kohn and Ramon Santiago, we'll be back with the action.
Bob Cancro here with Sayreville's 189-pounder Michael Knight. Michael, you started the season on the sideline because of a knee injury. What happened there, and what was it like being forced to sit out?
Well, I missed my whole football season because of my knee injury. And so I kind of knew what my leadership role was and how I had to help the team out and do what I had to do from football. And I did everything I could do, helping the young kids out in practice and stuff like that. It was hard, but I still the team needed me, so.
Okay. Now you've moved up from 171 to 189 for this tournament to help the team. What was the advantage of doing that, and how tough was it for you to have to move up that weight class?
Well, it really wasn't tough at all. It was an easy decision just because my team has two people that are really good, Jared Christensen and Rhett Fisher, and they wrestle 171 and 160. So I wouldn't want to bump them up to 89 when I'm used to wrestling the 89-pounders. So I figured I want to give them the best advantage and have me bump to 89.
Challenge to pick up that extra weight?
A little bit of a challenge, but, you know, I had to do.
Now, last week you were in the New Jersey Coaches All-Star Tournament, again moving in 189. What was it like in that experience?
That was a great experience. I mean, wrestling some of the best kids in the state and being around the best kids in the state, it was really, I think it was the best wrestling experience of my life. And even though I didn't come out on top, I mean, it was a good match, and hopefully I'll be there again someday.
Okay, besides winning tonight, you're right up there with Sayreville leading, with South Plainfield. A little pressure there, but what's the goal besides winning tonight for the rest of the season?
My main goal is to get on the podium down in the States. I mean, I worked hard, and have my team behind me, and have great guys working with me in practice, and main goal is to get on the podium.
Okay, with Sayreville's 189-pounder, Michael Knight, I'm Bob Cancro.
Wrestlers, please line up on the edge of the mat.
Hi everyone, from Piscataway High School. This is high school wrestling, the GMC Finals. I'm Bob Cancro along with Stu Kohn, and we are bringing you all the action through the auspices of Piscataway Cable. Stu, we have a really good matchup, and for the first time, South Point, in a number of years, South Plainfield's getting a run for their money.
Well, for the first time in a long time, we actually have a competition for first place. At this point, we have a 3-point gap. We have South Plainfield ahead by 3. A winner will pick up 14 points, plus any bonus points for a pin, tech fall, or major decision. Each team has 3 in the finals, Sayreville and South Plainfield. We're gonna go live now for introductions. We're gonna pick up Ron Mazzola on the mic as the wrestlers are being introduced.
Okay, they're clearing the mat, and Ron Mazzola will be doing the introduction, so we'll go to him.
On behalf of the athletic director here at Piscataway High School, Mr. Wilbur Akins. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Piscataway High School for the 2008 Greater Middlesex Conference Wrestling Tournament Finals. Tonight's matches are being conducted according to the rules of the new Greater Middlesex Conference and the New Jersey State High School Athletic Association.
Right.
Wrestling at 125 pounds, from John F. Kennedy High School, a junior, 92-15 in his career, 23-2 on the season. He finished second in this tournament last year. He's a two-time district runner-up and a one-time region place winner. From John F. Kennedy, Tom Hogan. Tom's opponent is a junior, 22-2 this year, 78-14 in his career. Third here last year, a two-time district champ, placed third in the region last year, then qualified for the state tournament. From South River High School, Adam Mangelli. Wrestling at 130 pounds, a senior, 25-1 on the season, 96-22 in his career. Third in this tournament last year, two-time district place winner. From John F. Kennedy High School, Pete Butita. Pete's opponent, a senior, 22-1 on the season, 69 wins in his career. Placed fourth here last year, a two-time District 20 place winner. From Old Bridge High School, John Justy. At 135 pounds, a sophomore, 21-3 this season, 42-12 in his career. Finished seventh in this tournament last year. From Woodbridge High School, Chuck Sabin. Chuck's opponent, a senior, 26-2 on the season, 97-14 for his career. A returning champion from 125 pounds. A two-time District 19 champion, a region runner-up last year. From J.P. Stevens High School, Dan Kaiser. At 140 pounds, a junior, 22-1 on the season, finished second in this tournament last year, first in District 20. From Sayreville High School, Ramon Santiago. Ramon's opponent, a junior, 24-2 on the season, 91-7 in his career, a champion last year at 140 pounds, a two-time District 19 runner-up, a region champ, and a seventh place New Jersey State Tournament place winner. From Bishop George R. High School, Joe McCauley. At 145 pounds, a senior, 20-2 on the season, finished third in this tournament last year, a District 20 champion. From Sayreville High School, Mike DeLuco. Mike's opponent, a senior, 23-3 on the season, 76 wins in his career, finished sixth in this tournament last year, a runner-up in District 12. From Middlesex High School, Matt Ellery. At 152 pounds, a junior, 24-1 on the season, 90-15 for his career. A returning champion from 2007, a District 12 champion, a runner-up in Region 5, and an 8th place winner in the New Jersey State Tournament. From Middlesex High School, Mike Decino. Mike's opponent, a senior, 27-1 on the season, 106-23 for his career. He's a runner-up last year, a three-time place winner in this tournament. He's a one-time District 2019 champion last year and finished fourth in Region 5 in 2006. From J.P. Stevens High School, Greg Zanetti. Wrestling at 160 pounds, a senior, 15-3. This season, 108-27 in his career. He's a former champion here in 2006, a two-time District 19 champion, a Region 5 place winner, and a state tournament participant. From Perth Amboy High School, Craig Batista. Greg's opponent, a senior, 17-3 on the season, 96-27 in his career, a returning champion from 2007 and a three-time place winner, a two-time District 12 runner-up, a two-time Region 3 place winner, and a two-time New Jersey State Tournament participant. From South Plainfield High School, Mike Wagner. At 171 pounds, a senior, 22-4 this year, 52 wins in his career. Finished fifth in this tournament last year, a runner-up in District 12, a fourth place Region 3 place winner. From South Plainfield High School, Dan Pompilio. Dan's opponent, a senior, 22-0 on the season, 85 wins in his career. He finished 5th in this tournament last year, 3rd the previous year. He's a 2-time District 20 place winner and a 2-time Region 5 participant. From Old Bridge High School, Chris Suzo. Wrestling at 189 pounds, a senior, 11-1 this season. Finished 2nd in this tournament last year, a District 20 champion, a 4th place finisher in Region 5. From Sayreville High School, Michael Knight. Michael's opponent, a senior, 10-1 this year, 37-13 for his career. Finished 3rd here last year, finished 4th in District 20. From South River High School, Brian Fodor. Wrestling at 215 pounds, a senior, 21-2 on the season, 79-19 in his career. Finished 4th in this tournament last year, a 2-time District 20 place winner. From Monroe Township High School, Jake Nail. Jake's opponent, a senior, 23-1 on the season, 74-27 in his career. He's a former District 20 runner-up and a Region 5 participant. From South Brunswick High School, Dave Amrine. Wrestling at 285 pounds. A senior with a season record of 19-7 and 42 wins in his career. Finished 3rd in this tournament last year. From Monroe Township High School, Frank Olikson. Frank's opponent is a junior, 25-2 on the season, 58 wins in his career. Finished 4th in this tournament last year, 3rd in District 19. From your Piscataway High School, Jeremy Powell. Wrestling at 103 pounds. A sophomore, 24-1 on the season, 57-8 in his career. Finished 3rd in this tournament last year, a District 19 champion, a runner-up in Region 5. From Perth Amboy High School, Heriberto Quintana. Heriberto's opponent is a senior, 25-0 on the season, 98-23 in his career. He has finished 4th and 5th in this tournament, a District 12 runner-up. From Middlesex High School, Vinny Zaccardi. At 112 pounds, a senior, 18-7 on the season, 62 wins in his career. Finished 4th in this tournament last year, a District 19 runner-up and Region 5 participant. From Perth Amboy High School, Jairo Bernal. Jairo's opponent, a sophomore with a record of 24-1 on the season, 54-10 in his career. Finished 5th in this tournament last year, a District 19 3rd place winner and Region 5 participant. From Bishop R High School, Derek De La Cruz. Our final bout of the evening will take place at 119 pounds, featuring a junior, 22-3 on the season, 99-11 in his career. He's a 2-time runner-up here, a 2-time District 19 champion, a former District 5 champion and runner-up, and he finished 5th in the New Jersey State Tournament last year at 112 pounds. From Edison High School, Mike Franco Bandiero. Mike's opponent is a sophomore, 22-1 on the season, 66-5 in his career. He's a returning champion from 103 pounds last year. He was a District 12 champion, the Region 3 runner-up, and he finished 4th in the state tournament last year. From South Plainfield High School, Nick Heilman.
Our first matchup is at 125. We'll see Tom Hogan of John F. Kennedy, and he'll take on Adam Mangelli of South River, a junior, 78 wins, career 22 on the season.
So this is a little bit different than we've had in the past. For the first time, the GMC Finals will be not starting at the lowest weight class and going to heavyweight, but the coaches voted this year that something the rules allowed, that they could make a switch and at a random draw and start another weight class, and 125 became the starting point for tonight's bouts.
Well, so in addition to our matches, we're going to keep an eye on the team score. As we said, right now we have a narrow 3-point lead that South Plainfield is following Sayreville by 3 points, and it's 175-172. If you was listening at home, each team has 3 in the finals. For Sayreville, it's DeLuca, Santiago, and Knight. And for South Plainfield, it's Pompello, Heilman, and Wagner. So we'll keep you posted on that, advancements, and just for you as at home, you'll get 4 points for a win in this round plus bonus points.
This has been a very good tournament and a very good season for Sayreville. The Bombers winning the white division and right now leading this tournament. And listening to Lenny Zaleski, former coach, earlier, he was saying that the best he ever did was a 4th place finish. We've got Tom Hogan and Adam Mongelli, Hogan in the green and white, Mongelli in the maroon, and the referee on the mat is Jimmy McCauley. And the assistant referee is Ed Marion.
Both wrestlers locked up, head-to-head tie, looking for an opening. We wrestle 3 2-minute periods. Takedown scores 2 points.
Hogan finished in 2nd place in the GMCs last year, 3rd place the year before. And Mongelli was a 3rd place finisher last year, 2007.
Mongelli, a 2-time district champion.
They go out of bounds, and the referee brings them back to the center for a fresh start with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go here in the 1st period. Quiet, almost capacity crowd here at Piscataway High School.
Well, that'll change as we get some action going. You can be sure of it.
Well, the South Plainfield contingent always vocal and always in large numbers when they come out, and Sayreville brought a good crowd, and they have been very vocal with their wrestlers throughout the course of the tournament. Again, a new start, just over a minute to go here in the 1st.
Hogan in the green, Mongelli in the red.
Circling around, Mongelli with some control there. Again, a new start.
2 juniors.
Tournament's is dominated, or as the finals are dominated right now by seniors. Only there are 17 seniors of the 28 wrestlers on the mat, 7 juniors and 4 sophomores, if you're keeping score at home for that kind of thing. But it does show, especially, that the experience of a senior wrestler is going to play out in getting into the finals.
So all that adds up to 28. That means we have no freshmen out here.
No freshmen out here. We're all upper class. And usually you do find, maybe 1 or 2, especially in the lower weight class, 103, 112, where younger kids, smaller kids might come through, but nothing this time around.
Well, we're at 15 seconds to go in the 1st period. We're still scoreless. The clock ticks to 10. Hogan in on double underhooks. We're going to get a fresh start stalemate call by our official Jim McCauley. Get a fresh start in the middle of the mat. Looks like we're going to end our period scoreless. The referee will flip the disc. That'll determine who has choice position for the 2nd and 3rd period. Comes up red. Mongelli can either defer, take top, bottom, neutral. He defers his choice to Hogan, who takes bottom. Now it's interesting, a little bit of strategy there. You want to score first. Should the match go in overtime and then triple overtime, whoever scored first will have the advantage. So Mongelli gave up that to Hogan. Hogan's on bottom.
Usually easier to score from below. But on top, the scoring is going to come from near fall points.
Most commonly, but some teams have a knack for riding, and you'll see them take top. You never want a South Plainfield guy on top either. You never know when that cradle's coming.
Mongelli had that leg hooked. He's working underneath.
Mongelli on top in the red. Hogan on bottom in the green and white. The top man must work for a fall. Bottom man must work to improve his positioning.
And they go out of bounds. Jim McCall would be looking for the possible stall if neither wrestler is really improving their position.
Well, when they go out of bounds, they'll restart in the same position they went out of bounds in. Mongelli on top, Hogan on bottom.
Step up.
Bob, you want to tell us how these wrestlers reached the finals?
Yeah, absolutely, Stu. Tom Hogan was the top seed, and we'll talk a little bit about the seeding, which went very well, and according to the coach's decisions. Tom Hogan was the top seed. We had a stall?
Red was just warned for stalling. Referee felt he did not push the action, so we do have a stall warning violation.
Yeah, Hogan had been coming up, and there wasn't an awful lot by Adam Mongelli from South River. Hogan had 2 falls and a tech fall to get to the finals on the way in, and Adam Mongelli, who was the 2nd seed, fall and 2 decisions, getting into the finals by defeating Jeff Peterson of Edison by a 6-5 score. 50 seconds here in the second period. No score.
Wrestlers are still in bounds. The 1 supporting part of each wrestler goes out of bounds. As we just saw, we'll get a fresh start. So 41 ticks on the clock left in the second period. It's Hogan on bottom looking to get out, and Mongelli riding the action on top.
Tom Hogan is coached by Bill Denise. He's in his 4th season at Kennedy. And Bobby Young is the coach at South River. Bobby, amazing, I can't believe he's in his 6th year. Rolls her in a tilt there, and there's a count.
Mongelli picking up back points.
He's got a 2 count.
He's got 2 in the bank. Shoulders must be 45 degrees to the mat to pick up back points.
24 seconds to go here in the second period.
Mongelli caught Hogan a little bit by surprise in the tilt. He's going to pick up 2 back points. Wrestler must leave the situation before the points are awarded. So we have Mongelli on top, 2-0. Mongelli on top in position as we go out of bounds, and he'll stay on top with 6 seconds to go in the second.
Well, that counters a little bit what we said at the beginning, where Hogan took bottom, and Mongelli
did a nice job of riding out.
Rode him out and then got the tilt in the last few seconds. And 1 second to go, and that will end the second period. And Mongelli will have choice, probably going down. Oh, no, it's the other.
Mongelli has choice. He'll take bottom.
A 2-0 lead for Adam Mongelli, the junior from South River.
You never know when 2 points is going to be enough. Look for Mongelli to explode on the whistle, try to get back up to his feet. Hogan needs to turn.
And Mongelli has had a warning put against him, so he's got to work. He cannot just hang on or stall from the bottom.
JFK shares a piece of the division title this year with Bishop Bar and Middlesex High School, 3-way tie for the division championship.
Blue division.
Which is determined by wins and losses.
Mongelli coming up.
Coach Bill Denise has had great success since taking over the program at Kennedy. He's really had that program turned around. Assisted by Nick Salento, Chris Callahan.
Last year Kennedy was 19-2, so Denise certainly has done a good job with the
And he
Mustangs.
lost quite a bit of seniors last year and still managed to have that team intact this year. Doing well. They really rebuilt. Hogan on top, looking to turn, working a tight waist, near arm.
He's got that.
If he can't turn him, there might be a point where he'll let him go and try to force some action from his feet. Trailing by 2. Hogan on top in the green and white.
Hogan.
Slipping in a bar on the near side.
He is controlling the action.
Now he's trying to work a tilt on his own.
Sorry to talk over you, Stu. There's no back points there because the shoulders are out of bounds. Now he comes back in. He's getting a count. He's got 2 points.
We're tied up.
No points awarded yet. 40 seconds to go, and there are the back points. It's a 2-2 score now here in the third period.
Look for Mongelli. Try to explode up to his feet. Look for a 1. Both wrestlers back in the middle. Got 30 seconds to go in the third. We're tied at 2.
South River coach Bobby Young yelled out, pointed 1 finger. Just need 1 point. That's all he needs right now to break this 2-2 tie. Just into third, tries to switch, countered by Hogan.
South River coached by Joey Young and Bobby Young.
Hogan with the bar in on the right side. 15 seconds.
Hogan keeping him down, doing a nice job of keeping him down. Very, unusual that we see the wrestler on top ride out both the second period as in Mongelli and the third period as in Hogan.
Hogan's got almost had the double bar, but the period will end and we will go to overtime. So our first match of the night, 2-2 at the end of regulation.
For those at home, a quick explanation overtime. We'll do a 1-minute period now. If anybody scores, it's over.
Sudden death in this first overtime.
And it's Hogan in on the ankles. Mongelli's trying to sprawl out, make himself long, try to counter this takedown.
He's got
Hogan
a
trying
post
to cut the corner. Good hold by our official. Hogan did a nice job of turning back in.
There were some calls of 2 from the crowd, and certainly Bobby Young was looking for that. But good work by Tom Hogan. 33 seconds to go here in the first overtime.
Well, right out of the gate, we have an exciting match. We're at 2-2 in the first overtime period. Hogan and Mangelli at 125.
Shrug by Hogan, not enough as they go out of bounds. 21 seconds to go. Right now, Tom Hogan has been a little more aggressive, certainly in the overtime in these last 15 seconds or so.
Mangelli has the stall warning. He needs to stay aggressive.
In on the double. Hogan looking for the points. He's got to stay in bounds.
Mangelli has
3,
that whizzer. Needs
2,
to hold on to that whizzer.
And there's 2 with 1 second to go.
It's Hogan with 1 second to go, pulling out a takedown for a 4-2 win at 125. Our first champion of the night, Tom Hogan.
A 4-2 victory for Tom Hogan of JFK. Defeating in overtime Adam Mangelli from South River. Good match. I mean, it was 2 wrestlers really just going out each other, feeling each other out at the beginning. Just 2 points apiece. And as you said, Stu, riding each other out in the early going on each opportunity they had on top. But Tom Hogan from Kennedy with our first championship.
Kennedy back on the mat here at 130 with Pete Petita. 96 career wins, 25-1 on the season, 3-time district place winner, 3rd in 2007, 4th in 2006, 3rd in 2005.
He goes up against John Justy from Old Bridge, a senior, 22-1 on the season and 69-45 on his career. A 4th place finisher last year here at the GMCs. He also was a Region 5 place winner, 5-6 place winner. And
Batista scores first on a 2-point double leg takedown as we go out of bounds. We'll get a fresh start. It'll be Petita on top in score and on top in position.
Pete Petita got here with 3 falls in this tournament, defeating Justin Thiel from Bishop R with a fall at 5:28 in the semifinals. And John Justy got here with a 5-3 decision over Brian Perez of Perth Amboy. Previous to that, he also had a major decision and a fall in the earlier rounds here in the tournament.
Referee stops that for potentially dangerous. Oldbridge bared all the JFK wrestlers' weight. Once they come off the mat, the referee will stop that for potentially dangerous.
Our referee in this match is Ed Marion, and the assistant referee is Jim McCauley. So what's happening is a new referee goes in on as the, I'm sorry, there's a rotation set up, but Ed Marion is the lead official on this one, and Jim McCauley will be assisting him on this, and they have a stalemate going back to a new fresh start. We talked about Bill Denise as the coach at Kennedy, and at Old Bridge it is Brian Garnett. He is in his 3rd season as the head coach of the Knights. 30-8 in his career, and certainly Old Bridge has had a history of being successful. As Justy comes around for the reversal, and we are tied with 39 seconds to go here in the first.
Justy trying to work a crossface. Far ankle, puts the boot in on the near side. It's Gusty in the black and purple. Referee will keep that going because Gusty's foot is on the mat. Gusty's responsibility is to bring him down. He lets him go, or Petita manages to escape. He'll pick up 1 point. Now he trying to work a front headlock.
Justy.
And Gusty has
and
it.
And Forston holds it with 8 seconds to go. He's got the count.
Points.
And a fall. 1 minute, 56 seconds. John Justy with the fall and the championship at 130 pounds. What's going to happen now, Stu? We're going to go to the, I believe we're going to go now to the medal awarding.
While we're introducing our medalists, let's mention our sponsors who made this tournament possible for us.
We have a number of people who have contributed and advertising for the GMC Finals. Juan and Shauna Figueroa, JD Flooring, 1123 Englishtown Road in Old Bridge. We thank them for their support. Mike DeCino and Jersey Painting Plus, 813 Lincoln Boulevard in Middlesex. Kim Butler and Paintball Authority, 1891 English Town Road, Old Bridge. The dental offices, Joel Weiser of Abramowitz, Weiser, Sorkin, and Sorkin at A2 Cornwall Drive in East Brunswick. And John Ellery in Ellery's Restaurant and Pub, fine family American cuisine and catering, 701 Lincoln Boulevard in Middlesex. We have a number of others, but we'll give you them over the course of this match and over this night. There's a lot of people who have contributed to make this event possible. Back at 125s, they're going through the finishers. The champion, of course, was Tom Hogan. The runner-up, Adam Mangelli from South River. The third place finish was Jeff Peterson from Edison. Finishing fourth was Ryan Sacco from South Plainfield. The fifth place finisher, Pat Ronan from Sayreville. In sixth place was Don Smith of Carteret. And the seventh place finisher was Wesley Fredericks of Perth Amboy, defeating Nick Parabello of East Brunswick. We go up to 135 pounds now, back on the mat. Dan Kaiser from J.P. Stevens and Chuck Sabin from Woodbridge.
Sabin, a sophomore, 42-12 career, 21-3 on the season. He was 7th place here at 119 last year. And Coach Brunsdorf says Chuck is an extremely hard worker and brings a world of passion onto the mat.
And that's just what you want as a coach, that passion from a wrestler. Dan Kaiser from Stevens is a senior with a 26-2 record on the season, 97-14 overall. He was a winner here in the GMCs last year and a third place finisher in 2006. He's also won the District 19 title twice in 2007 and 2006, and went was a Region place winner, Region 5 place winner in 2007.
Very technically sound, good technique, sets up his moves well. He's got a beautiful fireman's, nice dump takedown, really does a nice job on his feet. You'll see him try to wrestle as much of the match as he can off his feet.
He is in right now on the leg and countered by Sabin.
Sabin in the red, Kaiser in the green.
Kaiser got here by way of a tech fall. I'm sorry, by a decision over Dave Saley of Monroe. He also had a tech fall and a major decision in the earlier rounds to get here, as 2 points go to Kaiser on the takedown. And on the other side of the bracket, Chuck Sabin got to the finals with a 9-8 decision over Eric Norgard. Sabin was a little bit deeper in the bracket. He did not get one of the top seeds. He was a third seed rather, moving through into the finals. Earlier in the tournament, he also
none of our first three bouts yet, Bob, have had any impact on our team score. We need a Sayreville wrestler or South Plainfield wrestler to come on the mat to actually, have some impact. It's Kaiser working for another takedown. He's in on the leg, switches off, needs to come around to the side, pick up his 2, and the 2 are awarded. So it's Kaiser building a quick 4-1 lead as we end the first period here. 4-1 in favor of Kaiser in the green, Sabin in the red.
Old Bridge was in third place, and when Justy won, he got some points for his team, but they were 30 points behind, so they really, as you said, did not have an impact on the final result. It really is a 2-horse race right now between South Plainfield and Sayreville, as Sabin wins the choice and defers.
Look for Kaiser to work up to his feet. That's where he's the most comfortable.
Kevin Rafferty is our referee, our lead referee, and Roy Dragon is the assistant.
J.P. Stevens is coached by Mike Sider.
Sider in his second season with the green and gold.
Sabin coached by Ed Bronsdorf.
Kaiser comes up for an escape and a 5-1 lead.
Kaiser spins around for 2.
Now Dan Kaiser is controlling the pace of this bout.
What's interesting about the finals is, Bob, it might take some help from other teams to play dividends for either Sayreville or South Plainfield.
The matchups at this point, from what we could see, still really do favor each of those teams in their finals. And it might come down to not only how many bouts they win, but also how many bonus points they get. Pins and tech falls or major decisions.
Well, we'll talk about some of our matchups as we come to them, but Santiago and Macaulay have wrestled each other this season. Santiago winning decisively. So let's see, that was early in the season. Macaulay was coming off an injury, so it might be a tighter match this time. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, another takedown for Dan Kaiser. He has a 9-2 decision right now, and
Kaiser doesn't mind giving up those escapes because he's so comfortable on his feet.
He has 4 takedowns tonight in this bout already, as we have about 10 seconds to go here in the second period.
Saban trying to shrug him by. Working off the front head.
Saban will have choice here in the third period.
Kaiser went to the state tournament last year via a region championship.
And they will go neutral. Kind of interesting that here in the third period, Saban had choice, and he chose to be in his feet. And he's been taken down several times already by Kaiser. He's again trying to go for that front headlock, and as they go out of bounds, and 1:47 to go here in the third, a 9-4 lead for Dan Kaiser of J.P. Stevens. Stevens has 2 wrestlers in the finals, and this is Woodbridge's only competitor in the last round of the tournament.
I believe we have 14 different teams represented in the finals, 14 out of 22. And it's Kaiser picking up 2 more for his 5th takedown of the match, building an 11-4 lead, and he just let Saban haphazardly go, trying to look for another takedown.
And it looks like that's going to be the pattern.
Does have that fireman's down, and it's Saban now spinning around, picking up 2 of his own.
No give up by Chuck Saban. He's going to keep coming back.
Saban a hard worker. Not going to just hand his victory to Kaiser. He's working every second out there.
And despite the control on his feet, it is only a 4-point lead for Dan Kaiser right now, so he still has some work in front of him with about 45 seconds to go here in regulation.
Well, every time he's picking up a 2, he's giving up a 1.
Right.
So it's a slow way to victory when you trade 2s for 1s.
But if he doesn't start moving, there could be a stall in there. He's not, as he tries to shrug off, and he does. Gets the escape. Dumps Saban off the front.
Well, Saban should know by now that fireman's is coming.
There it is. Didn't finish it, but 20 seconds to go here. A 5-point lead for Dan Kaiser at 1:35. It's our third bout of the night.
Kevin Rafferty, our official. Roy Dragon, the assistant official.
A little flurry there, but for naught with about 5 seconds to go. And at 1:35, the 2008 GMC champion will be Dan Kaiser of J.P. Stevens.
That's 2 in a row for Dan Kaiser. 2007 GMC champion, now 2008 GMC champion once again. Dan Kaiser, J.P. Stevens.
A 12-7 victory for Kaiser. And let's take a quick look back at 130 as they give out the awards. The champion was John Justy of Old Bridge with a pin at 156 over Pete Petita of JFK. The third place finisher was Brian Perez of Perth Amboy. He defeated Justin Thiel of Bishop Bar 10-7. In 5th place, Nick Bolton of Sayreville with a pin at 558 over Devin Coates of Edison. The 7th place finisher, Matt Ackerman of East Brunswick, defeating Jeff Conroy of South Plainfield 8-0.
We're going to soon be at 140 as the wrestlers are receiving their medals here. We'll just talk about this will be a match where team score will come into play. One of Sayreville's 3 finalists will take the mat. Ramon Santiago, who we talked to before our broadcast. We had a nice little interview with Ramon, and he'll take on Joe Macaulay, who they did wrestle earlier in the season and had a decisive victory. So can Santiago do it again and pick up 14 points for Sayreville? Or is Macaulay peaking at the right time, going to come back here.
Well, that match was at 140 pounds, 145 pounds earlier in the season, a 14-7 win by Santiago. So, you know, you never know what the rematch is going to be like. Certainly, Santiago has the advantage of knowing he has beaten him. He's got that, but you're also wrestling a returning county champion in Joe McCauley. So he certainly has the confidence and knows what it's like to be on that mat. If I recall correctly, Stu, McCauley moved up last year, right? To get that championship.
won the counties last year. He's a two-time District 19 second place finisher at 140, 7th in the state last year. So on paper, he's equally as qualified, if not better credentials than Ramon Santiago. The only thing Ramon has over McCauley is that victory earlier in the season.
John Denudo is the coach of Santiago. He is in the white. And Joe McCauley
He's coached
in
by
the red.
Nick Tonzola and Joe Wasaki. Sayreville assistant coach Griff Banos, son of wrestling official Nick Banos. Roy Dragon is our official. Kevin Rafferty is our assistant.
I mentioned Nick Banos, who had his picture on the front of the locker room section of the Home News Tribune when Greg Zanetti got his 100th win just a short while ago, as McCauley comes around and gets the takedown. The first point
scores
scored.
first. Nothing's a gimme, Bob.
Nope.
And it's Santiago escaping for one. Something tells me points are going to fly in this bout. I don't know why. I just have a feeling, Coach.
Well, you have the confidence of somebody who's already beaten his opponent and the confidence of somebody who's already won this tournament on the other side. So this should be an interesting matchup.
Two very different body types out there. McCauley, compact, and Santiago with a leverage advantage.
And as somebody who understands what it's like to be short and compact, I hated that leverage on the other guy. It was difficult to penetrate, but McCauley is a very solid wrestler and has been there before, so he's ready to take on this challenge.
Well, as you and I have both seen in tournaments before, technique can beat brawn.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a mental game out there. You have to have good technique. You have to be able to know how to use it. Both wrestlers tied up. We're at 2-1. McCauley trying to work a front headlock. We're going to go out of bounds with 33 seconds to go in the first period.
We mentioned earlier, Sayreville is probably having its best finish ever in the GMC tournament. They have 3 wrestlers in the finals tonight. Bishop R has 2. But Sayreville has just had a tremendous run in this tournament and also in this season as they've won the white division outright. A warning for stalling against Santiago.
Santiago is backed on his feet. Ref Roy Dragon is not shy to call stalling. As the rule book says, you back up on your feet, you can get warned for stalling. As you just saw, Ramon's warned for stalling. Feels McCauley's pushing the action. What the wrestler has to do to counter that is spin, and it's Santiago in for a nice shrug takedown on the buzzer. 4-2.
And Ramon Santiago takes a 3-2 lead just at the end of the
So Joe McCauley not only wrestling for himself and Bishop R here, he's wrestled for South Plainfield right now. South Plainfield is certainly rooting for Joe McCauley. Whether visibly or not, they need Joe McCauley to come through here. Santiago needs to keep McCauley on the mat. Top man responsibility is to keep the bottom man in the middle and down.
We came into the finals of the tournament with Sayreville leading by 3 points, 175 to 172. So with a couple of wins, you pick up a few points, and again, the bonus points might make a big difference. Pins add 2, technical falls add 1.5, and a major decision adds a point to your advancement totals. And they go out of bounds again. 3-2 is the score. Ramon Santiago in the white for the Sayreville Bombers. Joe McCauley in the red for the Trojans of Bishop R. And the Sayreville team has certainly come together, and it has been documented in a couple of articles in the newspaper And Ramon Santiago says that one of the most influential people in his life is his head coach, John Denudo. And certainly there's been a lot noted. Several wrestlers last year lost their fathers unexpectedly, including one of the wrestlers we interviewed earlier, Mike Knight. He'll be wrestling later on at 189 pounds. But John Denudo also having a situation with his dad with cancer, and the team has really rallied together and come together and certainly demonstrated their strength, both
just
mental
from
and physical.
being around here this weekend, it appears to anybody that can see, Sayreville seems to have a real tight-knit, close team, a lot of camaraderie. McCauley had tied the score at 3 with an escape, and now he's working for a takedown. He needs to pop his head, and he does. So he'll take a 5-3 advantage with 52 seconds to go here in the second at 140. We'll get a fresh start.
Joe McCauley, again, knows the deal and what it's like. He got here by a default, interestingly. They got into the finals when Joe Creighton of JFK did not wrestle. There was a situation there regarding the number of bouts that the wrestlers had. Previous to that, he also had a tech fall and a pin in the first round and an escape by Santiago. Ramon Santiago got to the finals with a major decision over Nick Vituski of South Plainfield. Previous to that, a fall with 2 pins to get to the semifinals.
McCauley trying to work a front head. Santiago in the white, McCauley in the red.
They go out of bounds with 24 seconds on the clock. 5-4 lead for Joe McCauley of Bishop R. And while there haven't been a lot of points thrown around, as you were talking about, Sue, there's certainly been a lot of action and a lot of
action, and in all likelihood, these two wrestlers are not done wrestling each other. That's 1 point awarded to McCauley for a stall. That brings the lead to 6-4 with 11 seconds to go in the second. Now Macaulay is out of District 19, Santiago out of District 20. These two wrestlers could very well meet each other again in Region 5.
Absolutely, up at 100 and Central.
So we're at 6-4 going in the second.
Okay.
We're gonna get a stop in the action for injury time for red. A wrestler is allowed 2 injury times, not to exceed 90 seconds. Should the wrestler exceed 90 seconds, he would be disqualified. If he takes a second time out, when they return from action, his opponent would have choice of position.
It looks like they've got blood, Sue, so they're going over there. While we have a break, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the people who supported this production of the GMC Finals. Mike and Rich Pellegra of Twin Oaks Caterers at 287 Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick. Pete Lepresti of RKD Tree Service, 485A Schoolhouse Road in Monroe. Vincent Sereno of Hills Construction in Shark River Hills, Neptune. And we'll give a few more of those as we go along, but we thank all of them for their support of this TV production of the GMC Finals. Third period, they're on their feet.
Santiago right up for 1. Paulie in the red, he's got 6. Santiago in the white, he's got 5. We're at 140 with 145 to go. Takedown here would pick up 2 points. For those of you not familiar with wrestling, Santiago working an underhook. Well, Santiago's been hit for stalling. He needs to stay aggressive. His feet need to stay in bounds to be awarded points.
Big flurry there, but on the side and no points. Santiago is the aggressor. He gets on a single. He's got to cut the corner. A whizzer in by McCauley to block it.
Well, the best defense in a 6-5 match is to stay offensive. Santiago in on a leg. McCauley counter with the wizard. McCauley cannot go out of bounds. He needs to stay in bounds. If he runs out of bounds, it could be a violation for fleeing the mat.
Santiago was dragging his legs behind him, trying to stay in case he could free that arm, but they go out of bounds with no control, and 1:02 on the clock here in the third period of regulation. Joe McCauley of Bishop R with a 6-5 lead over Ramon Santiago of Sayreville.
45 seconds to go.
Servo looking to extend its team lead. They have a 3-point lead over South Plainfield, and the Tigers have not been on the mat yet, and that's a warning against McCauley as they back out. So now Joe McCauley has to stay aggressive with that warning from Roy Dragon.
As we alluded to earlier, the South Plainfield team watching ever so carefully as this match goes on. Careful not to say anything, but we just have to kind of get in their heads and read their minds on this, and they got to be rooting for McCauley.
Santiago might have missed an opportunity as he shrugged McCauley past him, and McCauley lost his balance a little bit.
We're going to go out of bounds with 14 seconds to go. McCauley needs to stay aggressive. He's been warned for stalling. And he backs. And he's working a front head. But Santiago, the aggressor, trying to test.
Gets the two.
And he gets McCauley to his back. He's going to pick up 2-point takedown.
And that's the match. A 2-point takedown for Ramon Santiago, near fall points 3, and a victory of 10-6. Ramon Santiago over Joe McCauley of Bishop Bar. What a finish for Ramon Santiago at 100.
What a finish is right.
6 points in the third period.
Well, you talk about coming through for your team.
Wow.
With 14 seconds to go. Picks up a takedown and backs to add 14 points to Sayreville, which adds the team lead to 7 now over South Plainfield.
179 to 172. If we've got that straight, they'll probably put that up on the board shortly. Let's go back to the 135-pound bracket as they go through the awards. The champion at 135 was Dan Kaiser from J.P. Stevens. He defeated Chuck Sabin of Woodbridge 12-7. The third place finisher, John Bolton of Sayreville. And the fourth place finisher, Mike Jacob of Metuchen. In fifth place, Eric Norgard of Middlesex over Dave Saley of Monroe. In seventh place was Dave Powell of Piscataway, defeating Jimmy Martinez of Perth Amboy. Wow, what a finish at 140 pounds.
Outstanding wrestling.
Great matchup.
That's what it's all about, wrestling at its best right there.
Joe McCauley had the match pretty much under control, but Ramon Santiago kept coming at him, an escape, a takedown, and a near fall. That flurry at the end with that roll through, putting McCauley on his back and picking up a 10-6 win. That's going to bring us to the 145-pound weight class. Again, Sayreville on the mat. This time, Mike DeLuco. He is 20-2 on the season, a senior. A third place finish here last year in the GMCs. A championship at District 20 last year as well.
Ellery in the blue. Much improved from last year. Really having a strong season. 23-3 on the season. 76 career wins. He's a senior from Middlesex. Second in the districts last year. Fourth in 2006. Sixth in the county last year. Now he's here in the finals at 145.
His dad, Ellery's Restaurant and Pub in Middlesex, is one of our sponsors, but as well as he goes in and gets a takedown. Matt Ellery with the takedown. St. John Ellery, his uncle.
Was gracious enough to be one of our sponsors to make this broadcast possible.
But he's also been a very big supporter of athletics in Middlesex as well, and has done a lot providing support and assistance to the athletic program there.
Well, right now he's working an arm bar on the near side. He got to bring that bar up, or the referee's going to stop that potentially dangerous. That bar needs to be above the elbow as he makes an adjustment there.
He was running up pretty much almost parallel, and that's illegal.
He's got the bar on the near side. Tight waist. Now he switches off to wrist and a half on the far side. Ellery working. Ellery the aggressor here at 145 thus far.
Roll by.
And once again, this match will have implications on our team standing. And it's Sayreville with a reversal on the edge to tie it up at 2-2.
Power move by Mike DeLuco to get the reversal. 17 seconds to go here as they're on the edge.
Well, when you get a look at Mike DeLuca, there's a lot of power there.
Oh, yeah.
He is a well-built young man.
Those shoulders go
who
out
has
quite a
spent
way.
some time in the weight room.
Wow. That pretty much defines the term cut.
Yeah. Until you see Mike Knight, his teammate at 189, etched from the same stone.
A 2-2 score here with 13 seconds and a caution on Matt Ellery.
You had the opportunity to talk to Mike, before our match, and quite a nice kid, quite a nice guy.
Second caution on Ellery, and one more, and that will be a point for DeLuco. I take that back.
You got the old rule book, Bob.
I got to look at those books once in a
It
while.
was at one time, in your day 2, and it's now 3. So he's got 1 left in the bank. Green's warned for stalling.
As they went to their feet, DeLuca did not bring him back to the mat, or didn't seem to make an effort to bring him back to the mat. And so the warning. And the choice will be to Mike DeLuco. But we've also got blood time for charge to Mike DeLuco. Now let's continue our sponsorships here. We talked about Vince Sereno and Hills Construction and Chalk River Hills Neptune, but also Bill Ashnault, Tom Cassio, and Sandy Severini of Twin City Pharmacy and Surgical at 1708 Park Avenue in South Plainfield. Thank you for their support. And Ted Resnick, a former official, and the Flemington Department Store, 151 State Route 31 in Flemington, along with John Bellavia of Cafe Primavera, Hills Highland Plaza at JFK Boulevard in Somerset. All those folks have contributed in sponsorship to the GMC tournament, which allows us to bring you this great tournament and all the action that goes in here, bring the highlights of a great season in Middlesex County Wrestling. GMC tournament, a highlight for everyone around here. Over there, Kurt Barbagallo, the head coach on the right, talking with Matt Ellery. And my mind just went blank. I forgot Tom's last name, Stu. McGrath. I worked with the man for 2 years, and I forgot his name. Both worked with Matt over there.
And we mentioned a few times already, Sayreville coached by John Denudo, assisted by Tom Martinez. Well, if you could believe it, I remember wrestling 103 not very long ago.
Yourself?
No, Tom.
Oh, Tom, okay.
103 for me was maybe 6th grade.
Yeah. We're in the second period here. Mike DeLuco on the bottom in the white. He tries that roll, and they go out of bounds.
Ellery on top, wearing the red ankle band. And you see Mike DeLuca wearing a green ankle band, and the referee will have wristbands. And that's how the points are awarded. He'll put up the wristband with the points corresponding to the wrestler's color. And that rule came about maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it's really helped make communications better between the table and the official.
Matt Ellery working that far side bar at a near half and trying to power it.
Ellery needs to come out to the side, as he does. Trying to work that arm lever, far half. Beautiful stack, he has him.
And a fall.
And it's Ellery.
Matt Ellery at 2:37 of the second period.
And you see Middlesex contingency going crazy in the stands with an Ellery victory. Mike DeLuca, nothing to drop his chin about. A finalist, did an outstanding job.
Still, I think
Matt Ellery just had that fire.
Matt was a very powerful wrestler, working up high on that, but I think some of the folks that were standing were not only from Middlesex, they were from South Plainfield, because they cannot afford to have too many more Sayreville wrestlers win championships. But congratulations to Matt Ellery at 145 pounds. Let's backtrack just a second.
Well, it doesn't
here.
add any points to South Plainfield, but it ceases Sayreville from picking up any more.
Absolutely. Just to go back to 140 pounds now as we review the championship there. Ramon Santiago, the champion from Sayreville, with a 10-6 win over Joe McCauley of Bishop Bar. In third place was Nick Vituski of South Plainfield. Fourth place, Joey Dunn of Old Bridge. Ralph Eastman by a forfeit from Colonia. The seventh place finisher was Brian Duran of Edison, and Tony Chapiano from Perth Amboy took 8th place at 140 pounds. Big and sudden finish for Matt Ellery from Middlesex at 145 pounds. 2:47 was the time of the fall as he defeated Mike DeLuco from Sayreville. Again, as you said, Stu, it really prevents Sayreville from scoring additional points, but the fact is that okay, here at 152 pounds, Mike DeCino, and Mike DeCino's father, is it?
Jersey Mike.
One of our sponsors, Jersey Painting Plus of Lincoln Boulevard in Middlesex. Mike is in the blue, and he goes up against Greg Zanetti of J.P. Stevens. And Zanetti, one of the top wrestlers in the county, but he has yet to win the GMC tournament, and that is something he is looking for.
The Zanetti family is no stranger to championships, with his brother Gene and Jeff having their share over the years. And let's see if Greg can put one in the bank in the shelf for the family here tonight. Zanetti comes in at 27-1, 106 career wins, district champion in 2007, and he was second here last year at the GMCs.
Sino has to hang on as Zanetti tries to turn the corner, and he does.
No points awarded yet. Sino holds on to that leg
Still
for
no
dear
point.
life. Trying to get a stalemate call. Sino needs to stay locked. 2 points are awarded as Zanetti cuts the corner. Zanetti on top in the green and white, coached by Mike Sider.
Mike DeCino from Middlesex, a junior. Kurt Barbagallo is his coach. He is 24-1 on the season, 90-15 on
Barbello with
career.
back-to-back wrestlers here in the finals.
And an escape by DeCino. Mike DeCino, a champion last year here in the tournament.
At 152. Last year,
152.
152-pound champion. He was the top seed, virtue of returning county champion here at 152. This has been one of the tougher weight classes in the tournament with the Zanetti, DeCino, Tyler Adams, and Ryan Smith, a state place winner from South Brunswick.
Zanetti got here by defeating Smith 10-3 in the semifinals. DeCino took a 3-1 decision over Adams of Piscataway. Prior to that, DeCino had a 7-0 decision over Joel Santos. And then he also had a fall in the first round of the tournament. Greg Zanetti had 2 falls, one over Anthony Kalani of Colonia and also over Zach Irizarry of North Brunswick to get to the semis. Zanetti, one of 2 wrestlers for Stevens.
Zanetti picks up 1 on the escape. He's in on the ankles of DeCino. DeCino trying to defend with a wizard tight waist.
No points yet.
Zanetti steps over the legs and picks up 2, increases the lead to 5-1. And 1 for DeCino as we go out of bounds. DeCino 90 wins and only a junior. 24-1 on the season.
He could come close to the 100 finishing out this year, depending on how well he does. And there's a warning on DeCino for stalling as he backs up, and Zanetti getting in on the ankle. Turns and dumps, no points yet.
Zanetti picks up 2 more. Increases lead to 7-2.
They go back to the middle with Greg Zanetti of J.P. Stevens on top. And on top in the score, 7-2. 52 seconds to go here in the second period at 152 pounds.
Both wrestlers locked up, looking for an opening. Both wrestlers trying to advance their position.
And DeCino picks up the escape as he backs out. 10 seconds to go here in the second. Little careless by Mike Decino, and Zanetti comes around for a takedown with just 3 seconds to go here in the second period.
Zanetti hands off his left contact. Coach Mike Sider is going to go at 1 as we conclude our second period.
9-3 is the lead for Greg Zanetti. They go to the third period, and Mike Decino will take the bottom position. Down by 6 with 2 minutes to go in regulation.
Zanetti on bottom, Decino on top as Zanetti peels away for 1. Look for an ankle pick. Good technical wrestling by Greg Zanetti as he works in a cradle. He's got Decino in trouble on his back.
Decino fighting, rocking back and forth. He loses the cradle.
Zanetti's had an outstanding tournament. We can't take away from his semifinal victory, a 10-3 win over Ryan Smith, returning state place winner from South Brunswick. So Zanetti has had a tough path to get here, as did Decino with a victory over Tyler Adams from Piscataway, one of Piscataway's top wrestlers.
Right now, Greg Zanetti has a 12-point lead. They go to a stalemate, a 12-point lead. 2 more points. I'm sorry, 3 more points, and he would have the tech fall. Works to the outside, tries to reach up for the cradle as he keeps the ankle. Lets Decino go. 15-4 is the score with a minute to go here in regulation. Greg Zanetti has had a dominating performance here at 152 pounds in the finals.
Well, we talked about the improvement of Ellery. Also a lot of improvement from Zanetti over last year. It's hard to say somebody improved when they have 106 wins, but really impressed so far with his technique here. Zanetti on top, 15-6. 21 points of action so far in this bout.
Sort of slowed up a little bit here in the last few seconds. He let Mike, I shouldn't say let it, but Mike Decino came around, got the takedown. And the charge that Zanetti had earlier on didn't seem to be there in the last few seconds. He's come up to his feet. Decino tries to put a cradle on, but
well, Zanetti just has to watch out for the big move here as he picks up 1 and then 2 on the ankle pick. The ankle pick's been working nice for Zanetti here.
10-point lead with 10 seconds to go. And
comfortable 12-point lead, and with 5 ticks of the clock left, he picks up 2 more to make it 20-7. More like a football score than a wrestling bout.
Greg Zanetti, with his 107th win of his career, picks up a championship in the GMC tournament at 152 pounds, and congratulations to Greg Zanetti of J.P. Stevens.
Well, Mike Decino, nothing to be ashamed about. 2-time county finalist. And he'll be back, a junior.
We'll be going to 160 pounds, where Mark Wagner from South Plainfield going up against Craig Batista of Perth Amboy. And this is the first time we'll be seeing a South Plainfield wrestler on the mat.
We have a 7-point differential in our team score. Sayreville presently at 179, South Plainfield at 172. So this is South Plainfield's opportunity to help himself. And Wagner will face Batista, who he lost to 10-8, I believe, earlier in the season.
Yes, he did.
Batista currently ranked by the Star Ledger 6th in New Jersey. And it was Batista with a 10-8 victory earlier in the season in a dual meet. Or was that, I believe that was his brother, actually, Mike.
Oh, was it Mike?
So we got some bad info handed to us.
My
We take that back,
yeah.
Mark. Brother, Craig wrestled his brother, Mike, and beat him 10-8. This is Mark Wagner on the mat for South Plainfield. So these two have not wrestled each other. Our bad. We'll correct that quickly as it's Wagner in first. He'll try to crossface and spin around. Pick up 2, he does. So this is an opportunity where South Plainfield can help himself in the team scoring.
Mark Wagner, South Plainfield in the black and green uniform. Greg Batista, Perth Amboy in the red and black blend there.
Sayreville has had 2 wrestlers in the finals thus far, winning 1 of the 2. This is South Plainfield's first wrestler to take the mat. We started at 125, we're at 160. So this is going to come down right to the end.
Yeah, Mark Wagner, 17-3 on the year, 96-27 in his career, and a champion from last year here at the GMCs. Also a 3rd place finisher the year before, 2-time place winner in District 12.
Our last match of the night pits Nick Heilman from South Plainfield against Mike Franco Bandiero, and it might take all the way to that last bout for we have a determined team champion.
Well, 2 takedowns now from Mark Wagner as they go out of bounds. He maintains control barely as they get a fresh start with 55 seconds to go here in the first period. Batista of Amboy, 15-3 on the season and 108 career wins. 3rd place finisher here last year and a previous champion, actually 3-time place winner in the GMCs and a 3-time District 19 place winner, including 2 titles in 2007 and 2006.
Batista holding on to that leg, trying not to give up another takedown with 30 seconds to go. But it's Wagner that cuts the corner and spins around, increases lead to 6-2. Wagner with the leverage advantage on top in the green and black. Batista on bottom in the red and black. Wagner working a half. Switches off to a crossface. It's a nice deep tight waist. Wagner trying to work a one-on-one on the near side.
Win by South Plainfield in this bout. Pick up 4 team points. 4 team points, just to make that clear. And they go to the second. South Plainfield has choice, and Wagner takes the bottom. A 6-3 lead for Mark Wagner of South Plainfield. And a quick escape, giving him a 7-2 lead. Seconds gone here in the second period. Jimmy McCauley, our referee, and the assistant is Kevin Rafferty, and they're going to get a fresh start back in the middle.
Wagner with double underhooks. Gonna get a stalemate call. We'll get a fresh start in the middle.
So we've talked in other broadcasts about stalemates, and that's kind of a subjective decision by the referee too. If he sees no significant action as Wagner gets in on the double and countered by Batista pretty well. Stalemate is that how subjective is that, or are there real criteria that?
Well, if there's no significant action, referee feels nobody can advance their position, he'll stop it and we'll get a fresh start.
But they'll also stop it if it's close at the end of a match and he wants to give him an opportunity to finish it. Well, they'll sometimes stop it if there's
somewhat subjective.
And we have injury time. And while we have that break, there's a context, so it's not injury time, as McCauley calls it out. Just to go back to our sponsors, we want to thank again Juan and Shona Figueroa of JD Flooring, Englishtown Road in Old Bridge. We mentioned Mike DeCino and Jersey Painting Plus on Lincoln Boulevard in Middlesex. Kim Butler and Paintball Authority, 1891 Englishtown Road in Old Bridge. Joel Weiser and his partners in the dental office of Abramowitz, Weiser, Sorkin, and Sorkin on Cornwall Drive in East Brunswick. And again, John Ellery and Ellery's Restaurant and Pub, fine family American cuisine and catering.
We're going to have a county championship poster in there this week, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay, sounds pretty good. They'll be happy about that. As I said, John Ellery and his family have been a longtime supporter of athletics in Middlesex, the borough, as well as now Middlesex County in the county tournament. We get a start again. Contact lens of Mark Wagner straightened out. We haven't mentioned the fact the coaching staff over at Perth Amboy, and that's Mike Giordano, and he has done an outstanding job at Perth Amboy. We've mentioned over and over again that he has really turned around that Perth Amboy program.
And it's Wagner trying to work for a fall. Trying to work a near cross face, reverse cross face.
Stretches that arm out.
He's got Batista in trouble.
5 seconds to go here at the end of the period. We're close.
Would pick up 2 more team points for South Plainfield. We ran out of time, but Wagner, the aggressor, picks up 3 back points. It's Batista in visible pain, so we're going to get a red injury time. You see Coach Terrell out there, and the trainer come to take a look at Batista. Greg Batista plans to go to University of North Carolina next year.
Well, when Wagner turned him, he had stretched that arm back, and it looked like it was a little bit perpendicular to the long axis of the body, and that can be a little tough. It's legal as far as he did it. Heard someone behind me yelling, "Watch the arm," and always very conscious of the injury situation. It's 1 minute done on injury. And Mark Wagner limping a little bit as he goes around the mat, as Batista's attended to, and Wagner wants to stay warmed up. Time is running down.
Brother of Joe Bubenheimer, who we've seen in the county finals many times. Former Woodbridge wrestler. Craig now wrestling for Perth Amboy.
Third period, and Craig Batista will be on the bottom, down by 10 to Mark Wagner. Kevin McCann, the coach over at South Plainfield, as he has his shot at trying to closing the gap on Sayreville. Wagner got here with a fall to get to the finals.
Well, if Wagner can hold on to the 10-point lead or expand on it, he will pick up some additional bonus points should he, hold on for the victory.
Right.
I believe he'll pick up an extra.
Major would be a point.
Okay, and right now he's in that range, so Batista can only help Sayreville here by getting this match either closer or coming out with a victory of his own.
We started to go over how these guys got here, and Mark Wagner with 3 falls to get into the finals, including a 59-second pin in the semifinals. Craig Batista also with 2 falls and a major decision. So both these guys racked up some team points for their respective squads. 10-point lead. So major decision category right now for Mark Wagner from South Plainfield. Crossface by Wagner. Comes around, breaks them down. 50 seconds to go here in regulation. Mark Wagner with the opportunity to pick up a bonus point along with the win here, so he could pick up as much as 5 right now, as it currently stands, for his team, and close that gap to just 2 points behind Sayreville. And just as you were saying earlier, Stu, should Wagner win here, Sayreville is going to have to depend on some other people to help them out by defeating South Plainfield along the way, because they only have 1 wrestle left. And with 4 seconds to go, that's going to be it. Mark Wagner of South Plainfield with a 12-2 victory over Craig Batista. Mark Wagner, the champion, at 160 pounds. Bonus points there for South Plainfield. Take a quick look back at the 152-pound weight class and the winners there. The champion was Greg Zanetti, a 20-7 victory over Mike DeCino of Middlesex. Third place finisher was Ryan Smith of South Brunswick. He defeated Tyler Adams. The fifth place finisher, Joel Santos of South Plainfield, with a win over Jerry Pajita. And we will be going to the 171-pound weight class, where South Plainfield again will be up there, and Old Bridge has a chance to help out Sayreville. For South Plainfield, it'll be Dan Pompilio, a senior, and for Old Bridge, also a senior, Chris Suzo. And the first time over on the side for Old Bridge, it is Kevin Garnett, the head coach in his third season. Two very long and lanky individuals coming out at 171 pounds. It was a pretty tough weight class this year, too, Steve.
Yeah. Suso, second last year in the districts, second in 2006, fourth in 2005.
Pompilio comes in with a 22-4 record. Suso 22-0, undefeated on the season.
Suso 100 Central Tournament champion earlier in the season. Going backwards to Wagner, with that victory, a major distinction, he'll pick up one extra team point for South Plainfield.
They haven't posted that score yet, but should be up there soon. Kevin Rafferty is the lead referee. Ed Marion is his assistant for this matchup.
Well, if I'm right, Sayreville's going to hold on to a 2-point lead,
right.
179-177. So a lot's going to ride on Mike Knight for Sayreville as we move into 189 coming up next. And it's Sousa with a nice throw, and he brings Pompilio to the mat, and he's on the board with the 2-point takedown. And Suso going right into a near cradle.
He is an honorary bomber tonight. There's no question that Sayreville was rooting for him.
Coach. Well, as we looked earlier, when Sayreville was wrestling, we saw a very quiet, somber South Plainfield.
Cradle, he's got Pompilio on his back, looking for the fall, and there it is.
And it's Suso picking up a pin.
1 minute and 10 seconds of the first period. Chris Suso with the championship at 171 pounds.
So he may be the wrestler of the week over in Sayreville.
He'll be on the Wall of Fame there. Quick pin by Chris Suso.
Our second first period pin of the night. We had one at 130 earlier. Now we back it up here at 171. Chris Suso, one of the tougher wrestlers in the county.
He is
at any weight class.
Very aggressive, very tough. You know, his coach said he's been an integral part of the Old Bridge lineup for the past 4 years. So starting as a freshman, Kevin Garnett said, you know, fierce competitor on the mat, but possesses a kind, friendly nature off the mat. Always been a pleasure to coach, and that's something you want to hear from coach. It's nice to know that those kids are out there and working hard for you. Quick rundown at the 160-pound weight class as they're giving out those awards. Mark Wagner, the champion from South Plainfield, a 12-2 victory over Craig Batista of Perth Amboy. In third place, Trevor Hawley of Old Bridge, a 5-0 winner over Derek Jordan of Kennedy. Rhett Fisher took 5th place from Sayreville. He defeated Greg Gerald of Stevens. And in 7th place, Zach Santora of Spotswood, defeating Gabe Paglier of Highland Park. And that brings us to the aforementioned Mike Knight. We interviewed him earlier, a very well-spoken young man. And again, as you said, what a physique. He is solid. And he is looking to try to pick up a win and some bonus points for the Bombers. Senior, 11-1 of the season. Season was shortened because of a knee injury, and you can see that padding on his left knee where he had the surgery. And the early part of the season, he sat out.
And he'll wrestle Brian Fodor. Name is synonymous with South River Wrestling. There always seems to be a Fodor or 2 or 3 in the lineup, as far back as I can remember.
Well, a small school is South River, but 2 wrestlers in the finals. And here, Brian Fodor, competing at 189 pounds as Mike Knight gets in, no control yet.
It's Knight working into a Near side cradle, he'll pick up 2, and he's got Fodor in trouble.
And a fall.
And a fall in 34 seconds. As we see the Sayreville coaching staff elated, they'll pick up 16 points.
Wow. You know, Stu, if I'm not mistaken,
that might be insurmountable.
I think that's it right now. Right now, with those 6 points, 2 points for the pin and 4 points for the win, Sayreville has 185 points to South Plainsville's 177. They have one more wrestler.
That's six maximum. That makes it.
Sayreville, if our calculations are correct, will be the GMC champion this year. Wow, what a result for John Denudo and his Bombers. And it looks like they are, the Sayreville team's kind of running out of here. I think they're going back to celebrate somewhere.
Well, you and I are here to the end.
Yeah, we're going to be around for a while. We have a lot of wrestling ahead of us, and there's no question we will get some of that in. You know, while we have a chance, let's just mention a couple of things too. You know, the seeds that we had here, there's a big seeding meeting, and Pat Morgan did a great job in his blog earlier this week to describe what goes on in the seeding meetings. But of the 28 wrestlers out here, we had 13 first seeds in the finals, 10 second seeds in the finals. So 23 out of the 28 wrestlers were picked.
Did a good job.
Did a good job in placing. There were only 2 seeds that were not in the top 3, and one was a 6th place seed that made it to the finals. But a great job by the coaches in getting them to that position. Stu, do you have the 171-pound bracket, or did you give that to me? Did I lose that? We're going to be going to 215 pounds right now. Dave Amrine from South Brunswick. This is the first time they're up against Jake Nail of Monroe, and the first time out for a Monroe wrestler. Alan Rushing and Sal Profacci are the co-head coaches for the Falcons. And Joe Doherty, the dean of coaches in Middlesex County for South Brunswick. Joe is in, I think, his 20th year, if I'm correct. Look at my notes, 20th season as a head coach, former wrestler at Madison Central, predecessor for Old Bridge. Jake Nail from Monroe was a senior with a 21-2 season record, a 4th place finish last year here in the GMCs. Dave Amrine, 23-1 on the season, also a senior, and did not place last year in the GMCs or the district, so he is making a mark here as he moves into the finals. I just want to backtrack because we've tried to give the results from previous matches, the previous brackets. Chris Suzo, the champion, as Nail gets his takedown at 171. 3rd place finish at 171 was Brad Newman of JP Stevens with a victory over Mike Moore of Woodbridge. Sammy Morales of Perth Amboy took 5th, defeating Sayreville's Jared Christensen, and the 7th place finisher was Jake Dupa of Metuchen, defeating South Brunswick's Anthony Del Piano. That was 171. We're at the 215-pound weight class, and the finals here between Dave Amrine of South Brunswick and Jake Nail of Monroe. Amrine with a 6-3 victory over Ray Fodor of South River, another Fodor, to get to the finals. He also had 2 falls earlier in the tournament. Jake Nail, a major decision to get into the finals as he defeated Dave Zafrani of Old Bridge. And Nail, who was the 3rd seed in the bracket, had a major decision and a fall to get to the finals. 2-0 lead for Jake Nail as they go to the 2nd. And Amrine will be on the bottom, South Brunswick. Dave Amrine is the only finalist for the Vikings, and Monroe has 2 in the finals. Whips. almost lost control there as they came down to the mat. 2-0 lead for Jake Nail of Monroe. And to him, getting here in the finals, getting to the finals was his biggest win. So just earlier today, he felt pretty good about the results getting to this point.
79 career wins, 21 victories this season for Jake Nail.
How many different uniforms does South Brunswick have? Because this pinstripe, I've never seen these. They may have had them last year, but I did not see it. But Joe Doherty must have he has a flair for style, and the different uniforms they have, the gold, the black, now these gray stripes.
One of the good guys in this business, Joe Doherty. And on paper, you look at these two wrestlers, they're very similar.
Record-wise, career and season. And neither with outstanding credentials as far as previous tournament victories. None of them has a championship, although they have place finishes in a couple of tournaments.
And it's Nail
getting back points.
With the front head, working a front headlock.
20 seconds to go here in the second period. He's got to extend that. He comes around to the front. He's got to lift. He's got him down. And with 5 seconds to go, Jake Nail, 3:55 of the second period, the champion at 215 pounds. Jake Nail, champion at 215, defeating Dave Amrine at 3:55 of the third period. Take a quick rundown of the 189-pound weight class. Michael Knight, a 34-second pin to win the championship over Brian Fodor of South River. Third place was John Conroy of South Plainfield with a fall over Jimmy Ryder of East Brunswick. Fifth place was Nick Warak of Old Bridge, defeating Brendan Verkamen. Corey Whiteham of Monroe took seventh place, defeating Matt Kuyamjian of Edison. And while we have a moment, let's again thank our sponsors, Mike and Rich Collegra of Twin Oaks Caterers on Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick, Peter Lopresti of RKD Tree Service, 45 Schoolhouse Road in Monroe Township, Vincent Sereno, Hills Construction of Shark River Hills, Neptune, Twin City Pharmacy and Surgical, folks Bill Ashnall, Tom Cassio, and Sandy Severini, 1708 Park Avenue in South Plainfield, and Ted Bresnick, Flemington Department Store, State Route 31 in Flemington, and John Bellavia, Cafe Primavera, the Highland Plaza and JFK Boulevard in Somerset. We go to the 285-pound weight class, and waiting to get on the mat from Piscataway, Jeremy Powell. He is the only Piscataway wrestler in the finals. Going up against Frank Olekson, and as is often the case, wrestlers of in neighboring weight classes in the same school come up from Monroe.
Interesting how this 285 weight class transpired. Dan Walker from Edison, who would likely have walked in here as the #1 seed, no pun intended, suddenly or unexpectedly transferred out of Edison High School this week.
Yeah, that was a
leaving
shocker.
the door open for Joe Perez, a Perth Amboy, who was disqualified last Saturday and has to sit 2 matches. And that brings us to Mr. Powell and Mr. Olekson, who found a way to the finals.
Well, they earned their way here. Jeremy Powell, 25-2 on the season. Certainly no accident that he's a good wrestler and made his way here. 50-27 on his career. Only a junior.
Well, nothing's a gimme.
No.
You know, it's interesting how it just panned out, though.
Frank Olekson of Monroe, a senior, 19-7 on the year, 42-17. A third place finish last year here at the GMCs.
Which is the highest returning place, you know, in the weight class. Which actually is higher than Walker last year. So give Olekson his credit. 19-7 on the season, 42 career victories. And Powell, 25-2 on the season with 58 career victories. Powell third in the districts last year. His biggest career victory was he won the scratch-off at McDonald's, but it doesn't really tell us what he got out of that deal.
Well, we asked the wrestlers to give us some background information on themselves, and obviously Jeremy Powell has a bit of a sense of humor. His biggest career win, as you just said, was he won a scratch-off at McDonald's, and his most memorable wrestling moment was sliding across the shower floor. It must have been a pretty big shower, too.
Well, he comes in here with a nice, strong GPA, 4.1.
Does well.
And Frank Olekson, his most memorable win is his last match.
Well, he's looking for his next great one. I guess that's how they might term it.
His biggest victory is beating Big Red, Drew McCabe from Spotswood. We remember Drew from last year, Spotswood's heavyweight.
We have no score with 35 seconds to go here in the first period. Jeremy Powell, Piscataway in the black, and Frank Olekson in the purple, very white purple.
After a minute and 30 in the first period, that's quite commonly and oftenly the case at heavyweight. Not always, but we do see that a lot with the big guys. We're gonna jump to little guys right after this.
That's gonna be an interesting difference. Not used to seeing that. Olekson in the semifinals against Dan Witz of South River, they were 1-1 after regulation. So they, just what's going on here, no score or a tie score.
Oh, while we have a quick break in action with everything going on in Sayreville, with Coach Nudo's dad being ill presently. It's a nice feeling they could have a county championships to celebrate with.
They have on the back of some of their shirts it said "Earn It," and I think they've done just that. They come together, they've fought hard, they've gone through adversity together. Last year, a couple of the kids, as we said, lost their parents, including their fathers, including Mike Knight, who won. And now John Denudo is sort of getting the inspiration from his wrestlers, just as he helped them get through that last year. So it really is a family situation. We always often talk about wrestling as a family. And Powell fighting off that looked like a Peterson.
Good call by our official. Waiting, seeing how the action progressed, and we're going to get a 1-point escape for Olekson, which is going to be the first point of the board. As we're going to get blood timeout for Olekson. Takes a 1-0 lead in injury time.
Okay.
Blood time different than injury time.
Right.
The wrestlers awarded 5 minutes to control the blood. That's cumulative. It can be as many stoppages as possible, just cannot exceed 5 minutes. Injury time, as we alluded to earlier, is 90 seconds, and on the second injury, your opponent would have choice position when you resume wrestling. Many of these teams at GMC are gonna go on to compete in sectional championships.
Yep.
Sayreville should garnish a good placement in North Jersey Group 4. Group 3. Let you give us a rundown, Bob, on some of the teams we'll see that have qualified for the sectionals.
It looks, as of right now, the record just the other day, the NJSIA put out the scores and totals. It looks like Old Bridge will qualify in Group 4, Central Jersey, Monroe in Group 3, and JFK in Group 2. That's all in Central Jersey. But we also have wrestlers, because of the reconfiguration a couple of years ago, of teams in North Jersey 2. Perth Amboy, Stevens, and Edison should all qualify. In Group 4, Sayreville in Group 3, and South Plainfield in Group 2. And Bishop Bar should also make the tournament in the non-public South Section A. So a number of GMC schools.
Powell with a nice back trip. Taking Olekson to his back, cutting off to a half. He's chest to chest. He's looking for the fall with a minute to go. He's got Olekson in trouble.
Jeremy Powell, the top seed, and on top right now with just under a minute to go. Olekson fighting him, and there's the fall. Jeremy Powell.
The hometown favorite gets the crowd on their feet with a fall, 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
The top seed comes out on top at the heavyweight weight class. A championship for Jeremy Powell and the Piscataway Chiefs.
It's Middlesex now sending their third wrestler to the finals at 103. The guys are going to get a little smaller here, but
we are going to give you a quick rundown as they give the medals out for the 215-pound weight class. Jake Nail, the champion, with a pin over Dave Amrine of South Brunswick. In third place, David Zafrani of Old Bridge, defeating Sean Lockwood. The 5th place winner was Marek Zwast of Metuchen, who defeated Ray Fodor of South River. Brian Mixowitz of Sayreville took 7th place over Mark Ruggiero of JP Stevens. And that will take us to the 103-pound weight class. As you said, soon, now, little guys.
Well, we're going to have some exciting bouts coming up, but if you're a wrestling fan, you don't want to leave now. You want to hang out to the end. At 119, we're going to feature Heilman of South Plainfield, and he's going to take on Mike Franco Bandiera at 119. How appropriate. We started at 125, so we end at 119, and it's going to prove to be an exciting bout.
A sophomore, Heriberto Quintana of Perth Amboy, 24-1 on the season, coached by Mike Giordano, and against him, Vinny Zaccardi of Middlesex, 25-0, undefeated. A senior, 98-23 on his career.
Well, you don't see a lot of seniors at 103.
No.
Vinny's been around for a while. He's paid his dues. He's had a good tournament so far, and he comes in here with an undefeated record, like you said, and 98 career wins. Very impressive.
So Vinny Zaccardi with an opportunity.
Middlesex has really had some quality kids in the lineup this year. Just where they're strong, they're strong. Just had a few holes for making them overly competitive in a dual meet team, but a fantastic tournament team.
Yeah, and still
with Ellery, DeCino,
and still a share of the blue division.
Right. They've really managed to get the most out of what they have.
Quintana, the top seed. He made his way to the finals with a 4-1 decision over Connor Hayes of Old Bridge, and he also had 2 tech falls along the way.
Norgard had a good season as well for Middlesex.
Vinny Zaccardi with 3 decisions to make his way into the finals here. Zaccardi with a 4th and a 5th place finish here in the GMCs, and a 2nd place last year in District 12. Quintana, as a freshman, took 3rd last year here in the GMCs and was also a district champion in District 19 and a 2nd place finisher in Region 5.
It's an interesting matchup here.
Yeah, these are 2 very good wrestlers. Obviously, Quintana, as a young wrestler, moving up the ladder very quickly, very successful, and very accomplished. Zaccardi gets in on the leg, but countered by Quintana.
And while we're on Perth Amboy, we should mention Gabriel Roman, one of the top wrestlers in the county.
Yep.
Unfortunately, his season was cut out altogether with an injury sustained in football.
Yeah, Amboy had a number of injuries and situations where they lost some wrestlers, and they were still able to produce the kind of finish they had. And we had, it looks like Quintana finished up a little awkwardly there. He's just a little shaky there for a second.
Good hold by Eddie Marion, and it converts to a 2-point takedown for Zaccardi. No back points. Zaccardi trying to work a near cradle, head in the side, trying to lock it up. And he's got...
Turns him. Zaccardi's got to arch into him a little bit. Eddie Marion looking for the fall. 40 seconds to go here in the period. It looked like they might have spun out of bounds. I thought, Stu, you're kind of looking at it a little bit where they out of bounds, because it looked like Quintana's back and Zaccardi's feet were out of bounds as they came around, and they let that one go. But he got back points, had the takedown, and now picked up 3. He's had Vinny Zaccardi with a 5-0 lead. Both these schools, Middlesex and Perth Amboy, putting 3 wrestlers into the finals. This is the last one for the Blue Jays. Zaccardi in the white and blue, Quintana in the red and black uniform. 19 seconds to go here in the first period.
had an exciting finals up to this point.
Yeah.
Reason we wrestle and don't do it on paper because you just don't know the outcome, and these finals have certainly proved to be exciting.
A lot of action, some pins, some big flurries to get wins at the end of the period. Fine job by the wrestlers.
Great comeback by Roman Santiago.
Very significant for several, as it turns out. That was a turning point. Kept them alive. And waiting for Michael Knight to do the final damage. And no change there after the escape. 5-1 lead for Vinny Zaccardi over Alberto Quintana of Perth Amboy.
He'll choose bottom.
You know, Stu, as we get ready for the second period, we talk about that family and how teams come together. And you have Alberto Quintana, the most influential person, he says, in his life is Craig Batista. So, you know, looking to the older wrestlers, the more veteran wrestlers, the guys that can teach you what it's like to be in a situation like this. And certainly as a freshman last year, he did well, and he's here again.
Zaccardi with plans on continuing his education in Florida next year at Florida Atlantic University.
International business, a growing field.
Quintana, his biggest victory attributes to beating Hogan, Tom Hogan, in the district finals last year.
Quintana peeling that hand back to give himself some space, creating space.
Both these wrestlers wrestle in different districts. Quintana, District 19, and one of the few wrestlers besides South Plainfield that comes out of District 12. Only Middlesex and South Plainfield come in here out of District 12. The majority of the wrestlers in Middlesex County will go to either District 19 or 20.
That also means, of course, they go in different regions, as those two schools will head up to Region 3. With an escape for Quintana and then a takedown for Zaccardi. On the edge. And that edge of the circle has been a bit of a friend for Vinny Zaccardi tonight.
7-2. Trying to work a cradle. Does a nice job. Pulls it back over his knee, switches off to a half.
Trying to work it through, works those fingers across the head.
Zaccardi wrestling like a wrestler possessed right now. He is just on fire. He's just taking it to Alberto Quintana here at 103.
I think some of these wrestlers do start to realize when they're seniors, this is the last go round. This is what they've got, because some of these guys will not continue on in college. There are fewer and fewer college wrestling programs anyway, and that's a whole different world when you go to that level of wrestling. Quintana working very well to get up to his base and free himself. He's creating space between himself and Zaccardi, but Vinny Zaccardi able to close in and recover and gain control. Brings him down to the mat on the edge, and they go out with 24 seconds to go here. Vinny Zaccardi of Middlesex up 7-2 over Heriberto Quintana of Perth Amboy. Again, Quintana just a sophomore. And again, looking for a place and a medal here in the GMC. Tries for that front roll and stops short. Zaccardi almost got the half in and caught him. About 10 to go here in the second period at 103. As we mentioned early on, by a random draw, the tournament wrestling started at, and the final started at 125 as the period comes to a close, and they went up, and now we're coming back to 103. We'll be finishing up at 119 pounds, and Vinny Zaccardi will be on the bottom. At the end of this match, we will review the heavyweight results, and we'll also mention again some of our sponsors who have contributed so generously to make this broadcast possible. Tight waist by Quintana, tries to get the tilt. Looking for some points to get back in the game here. He's down by 5. Gets the leg in. And Ed Marion going for a stalemate. No significant action, trying to get it started again. Kurt Barbagallo, as he mentioned, the coach for Middlesex. And Quintana will give Zaccardi the escape.
Well, Quintana needs the big move. Good move by Quintana. He needs to force the action with a throw and back points, but Zaccardi quick to score his own takedown, increases lead to 10-2.
Good work by Vinny.
We've talked a lot about our championship going to Sayreville, and second place to South Plainfield, which is inevitable. When we get a chance, we will run down our likely third and fourth place finish.
Right now it looks like Old Bridge will maintain their third place finish, followed by Perth Amboy. And a reversal for Quintana.
Well, the coaches will have a tough time picking an OW in this tournament. We've seen some outstanding wrestling throughout the weekend.
There's a warning against Vinny Zaccardi. He's got a 10-5 lead with about 22 seconds to go here in the last period of regulation.
Quite a number of wrestlers you have to think about for that OW. Can't rule out Ramon Santiago with his late second heroics, or Chris Souzo with his quick fall in the finals, and Zanetti with a decisive victory in one of the tougher weight classes.
Yeah. I mean, coaches tend to look at the number of falls you have. That's certainly a criteria. That
well, the path to the finals certainly plays, a big impact on the selection.
Vinny Zaccardi will be the champion at 103 pounds with an 11-5 victory over Alberto Quintana. Vinny Zaccardi of Middlesex, the champion at 103 pounds. Okay, we're going to take a quick look at the 285-pound weight class. There's the results. The champion was Jeremy Powell Piscataway with a fall over Frank Olson of Monroe. Third place was Dan Litz of South River, winning over Manny Santiago of Sayreville. The fifth place finished Rocco Petrillo of South Plainfield, defeating Sean Mager of North Brunswick. And in seventh place, Tom Farrell of Kennedy, defeating David Mundy of Old Bridge. And again, we want to make sure we thank our sponsors, Juan and Shona Figueroa of JD Flooring of Old Bridge, Mike DeCino, Jersey Painting Plus of Middlesex, Ken Butler, Paintball Authority in Old Bridge, Joel Weiser and the practice of Abramowitz, Weiser, Sorkin and Sorkin of East Brunswick, and John Ellery, Ellery's Restaurant and Pub in Middlesex. 112 pounds brings up Derek Dela Cruz of Bishop Bar and Jairo Bernal of Perth Amboy.
Now wrestling at 112 pounds.
Hey, Stu, again, another unusual matchup in that a senior wrestling at 112 pounds, the little guys again, but that's Jairo Bernal, but Dela Cruz only a sophomore. So again, a sophomore-senior matchup just as it was at 103. Two red uniforms out there, but the bright red is Bishop R.
Well, Bernal was second in the districts last year, fourth in 2006. Dela Cruz is 24-1 on the season, 54 career wins. He was third in the districts at 112 last year as a sophomore, fifth in the county last year at 112 as well.
Bernal hanging on to that leg, and Dela Cruz fighting him off. The red and black uniform, along with the reddish hair for Bernal from Perth Amboy, and the brighter red uniform and headgear, Dela Cruz of Bishop R. Dela Cruz the sophomore, Bernal the senior. Bernal trying to get in on that single. And the sprawl by Dela Cruz fights it off, and Kevin Rafferty calls a stalemate. Roy Dragon is the assistant referee on this bout.
Derek De La Cruz, 24-1. The red headgear.
Well, Bernal has been pretty aggressive in shooting, and De La Cruz has been pretty good at doing the defense as the Spirit comes to a close.
Well, another 1-2 seed matchup. De La Cruz, the top seed.
De La Cruz with a tech fall, a major decision, then a regular decision on his way to the finals. And Bernal with a fall, and 2 regular decisions.
Well, De La Cruz has yet to give up a point in this tournament. He's won by a score of 16-0, 14-0, and 7-0.
That's not too shabby. You look at the falls, but then you look at the flip side, just what you're saying there, Sue. Not a point has been given up, and he still has not done it so far tonight.
Well, Bernal's made it close the last 2. He's 5-4 winner.
Yeah.
Over Brendan Hodel of Monroe, and a 3-2 winner over Dan Bergfeld of Sayreville.
Well, you can see why De La Cruz may not have given any points. He rides very tight, very high, locks in that leg.
Working that near ankle hook. Now he spins off, cuts off to a far side cradle, trying to work a far side cradle.
He's got it locked up.
He's got it.
He's got Bernal on his back. A lot of time left here in this period. 1:07 to go, and he picks up 3 back points. And Derek De La Cruz takes a lead of 3-0 here at 112 pounds, our next to the last bout of the night. Got the cradle again. And rocks Bernal back. Bernal's right shoulder popped up a little bit. He's got back points, another 3. And a 6-0 lead for Derek De La Cruz.
Well, to go through this tournament without giving up a point, you have to be good on top.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing when you think about it. And you could also see some good balance there as he went out of bounds. 13 seconds to go here in the second period at 112 pounds. Derek De La Cruz of Bishop R in the lead. His coach, Nick Tanzola. Nick is in his 18th season at Bishop R. He's done a very nice job building that program. They haven't won championships, but they have always had competitive teams and a number of kids who pop into the finals over the last
Nick's
few
always
years.
done a great job of getting the most out of his wrestlers and producing talent. Always seems to have a couple wrestlers in the mix season after season. Always seems to have a couple state place winners. Still remember Cody Hammer not too long ago. Went on to wrestle for University of North Carolina.
Well,
De La Cruz seems very comfortable on top.
Bernal has gotten out a little bit, but De La Cruz doesn't panic. He stays right in there, stays on the hip, follows around, breaks him down again. Seemingly in very good control, and still has not given up a point in this tournament. Awkward position right now, but it is still De La Cruz's control. We'll see how long Kevin Rafferty waits. Not very, and they start over again with 1 minute exactly to go here in the third period of regulation. 6-0 lead for Derek De La Cruz.
You don't hear a lot about Derek De La Cruz, certainly not a household name in wrestling, but I believe after this tournament, it's not going to be any place for Derek to hide anymore without being a well-known commodity around the county.
Well, he may not have been known to people outside, but obviously the coaches recognized his talent and what he had to offer. He was the top seed, and Bernal was number 2. Again, trying to rack up that near side cradle this time.
Well, in about 32 seconds, he won't be a well-kept secret anymore. Dela Cruz, only a sophomore, working on a GMC championship, so 21 seconds to go and a 6-0 lead here in our next to last weight class. 2008 GMC Championships at 112 pounds.
10 seconds to go here at the 112-pound final. And there are the first points that Derek De La Cruz has given up.
With 4 seconds to go.
It would have been a nice recognition to not give up any. But Derek De La Cruz of Bishop R, the 2008 GMC champion with a 6-1 win over Jairo Bernal. And let's run down as they give out the medals for the 103-pound weight class. Vinny Zaccardi of Middlesex was the champion with an 11-5 victory over Heriberto Quintana. Third place went to Connor Hayes of Old Bridge as he defeated Anthony Peterson of Edison. Fifth place was Mike Mora of Piscataway, defeating Kyle Anderson of Sayreville. And in seventh place, Mike Batita of JFK with a tech fall over Kenny Blair of Bishop Bar. And again, while we have a few minutes, Stu, let me just give a rundown on some of the other sponsors who have made this broadcast possible. Mike and Rich Pellegra of Twin Oaks Caterers in East Brunswick. Peter Lopresti of RKD Tree Service in Monroe Township. Vincent Sereno of Hills Construction, Chalk-Ray Hills, Neptune. Bill Ashnaw, Tom Cassio, Sandy Severini, the good folks at Twin City Pharmacy and Surgical in South Plainfield. Ted Resnick of the Flemington Department Store in Flemington. And John Bellavia of Cafe Primavera in Somerset. All those folks supporting this broadcast and the GMC Wrestling Tournament, making it possible for us to be on the air and bringing this action to you. The last match of the night at 119 pounds, Nick Heilman of South Plainfield and Mike Franco Bandiero of Edison. And certainly the Franco Bandiero name has made its way around the county, Stu.
These two have wrestled this year. Heilman came out on top with a 4-2 win over Bandiero earlier in the season in dual meet action. Bandiero, 5th in the state last year, 2-time district champ, 99 career wins, looking for 100, 22-3 on the season. Heilman was 4th in the state last year at 103 pounds. Both wrestlers moving up from 103 last year, up 2 weight classes to 119. Heilman 66-5 on the career. Bandiero coached by Jerry Nisavashi, Bill Enoch. South Plainfield coached by Kevin McCann.
I'm just doing some quick calculations here and trying to get our results. South Plainfield's total will not be available. They will be the 2nd place finisher behind Sayreville. Sayreville winning its first GMC tournament championship. Third place will be going to Old Bridge. And as we go down the numbers here, it's going to take me a few minutes to figure this out, but it looks like Perth Amboy, I believe, will be the 3rd place finisher, 4th place finisher. First period ends with no score. Nick Heilman, South Plainfield, in the black and green uniform, and Mike Franco Bandiero of Edison in the gold uniform.
I'm sure both these guys have the utmost respect for one another.
Well, for all the tough talk and attitude that sometimes wrestlers put out on the mat. They do know who their opponents are, and they, as you're saying, Stu, they know what they've got, what they're going up against, and what they're and the need for respect for the opponent. And you always see those T-shirts, you know, respect everyone, fear none. And they're not going to fear anybody. Roy Dragon is the official on the mat as Nick Heilman gets the escape.
When you have a tough match, Roy Dragon's the right man for the job.
Yeah. Pop that leg out. Franco Bandiero's leg went a little bit out the other way than it normally would. And Heilman with the takedown.
Heilman controlling the action. Trying to pull Bandiero back in. Working a ball and chain. Trying to switch it off to a tilt. Seconds to go here in the second period in the final bout at 119 pounds tonight. And an escape for Franco Bandiero. And the period will end at 3-1. Nick Heilman of South Plainfield in the lead. Bandiero has choice here. He'll take bottom. Heilman's done pretty well on top. So let's see what Bandiero can do.
Two underclassmen here at 119 pounds.
Heilman on top. Working a tight waist. There's a forearm. Trying to work in a tilt series. Bandiero with his head down on the mat. He needs to explode and work up. He's down 3-1 here with a minute 30 to go in the third. A minute and 30 can seem like eternity when you're out there wrestling.
Well, especially if you've been controlled as Mike has been tonight. Nick Heilman has been pretty much top dog. Only a 3-1 score, but he has controlled the pace on top. As they run out of bounds. 1:15 to go here in regulation at 119 pounds. And really the story tonight, Stu, I guess really is the Cerebral Bombers and the championship that they are going to be taking home. Certainly John Denudo and his team have done a great deal. Franco Bandiero with that front row and a good follow through by Heilman. 1 minute to go here in the final period. But John Denudo's Cerebral team has really come through. They a solid performance all year long. They have won their division, and now they will take home a GMC tournament championship.
As Nick Heilman is warned for stalling.
Well, Franco Bandiero taking the action on there, moving up, getting off his base. Getting his legs free, trying out a switch. And Heilman
Bandiero needs to try to get back up to his base.
Yeah, Heilman's got to come outside though, doesn't he still? I mean, he's been running parallel right now. He's really got to move outside. Trying to get the bar in. 20 seconds to go here in the regulation.
Heilman on top with 10 seconds to go.
And they are close, and no change. And in a very tight match, Nick Heilman of South Plainfield will win the 119-pound weight class here at the GMC tournament. That's our last bout. So let's run through the 112-pound weight class. Derek De La Cruz of Bishop Bar, a 6-1 winner over Jairo Bernal of Perth Amboy. Third place went to Ray Delanoez of Edison over Brendan Hodel of Monroe. Fifth place, Brian Chin of Woodbridge defeated Zach Mathis of Colonia. In seventh place was Dan Bergfeld. And at 119 pounds, do the summary there real quick, as we have, again, Nick Heilman with the championship, a 3-1 victory over Mike Franco Bendiero. Third place, Sam M. Bergia of Monroe, a win over Mike Pisniak of Bishop Bar. Noel Santiago Cervo took fifth, defeating Devon Cook of Piscataway. In seventh place, Vinny Despenzer of Middlesex, defeating Andrew Schaefer of Oldbridge. Stu, we had a really good tournament. The final results, it looks like, just going through this, Cerebral the championship, followed by South Plainfield, Oldbridge coming in third, Perth Amboy fourth, which is what people were kind of looking at. That was the mix of teams. Fifth place was J.P. Stevens. Sixth place, Monroe. I hope these are all correct. I'm not off the board. Seventh, JFK. Eighth place was Middlesex, so a smaller school popping through there. They had three in the finals. Nice job by Kirk Barbagallo and his crew. Ninth place, Edison. 10th, Bishop R. 11th, Piscataway, and another small school in the top 12, South River, finished up with 16.5 points. So
tournament scoring, as we know, is a little bit different than dual meets.
Yeah.
You have a few strong individuals, they can get you on the board with some team points.
Yeah. And I think, you know, South Plainfield had a solid finish. Perth Amboy had kids in there, but again, it's what happened prior to that and the build-up, the pins, the major decisions, the tech falls that made a difference and gave the championship to John Denudo.
Well, real kudos to John
Nice
Denudo
job.
and the
Nice
Sabre
job,
Bombers. And it's been a long time since we've seen a color other than green in the championship coming out on top.
Blue and gray will be taking home the title tonight. And hopefully we'll have possibly get an interview with John. We're going to look for that at the close of this.
So for Stu Kohn and Bob Cancro, it's been a pleasure bringing you the 2008 GMC Wrestling Championships from Piscataway High School.
Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Stu Kohn. I'm being joined by Sayreville Bomber coach John Denudo. John, we have just finished the 2008 GMC Wrestling Championships, and for the first time, we have some blue in the championships. It's not Tigers, it's not South Plainfield, it's not East Brunswick. How does it feel to come out on top of the GMC tournament?
It's a great feeling. I mean, it took a total team effort to get here, and we've been all about team from day one. Mike Knight bumping up to 89 to give our 60 and 71 pounders a better chance to place, and then being able to finish the tournament for us was perfect. It was a perfect ending, and we had 11 guys in the top 6, 2 7s. 13 out of 14 scored points for us. So it was a total team effort. These kids have worked hard for 3 years to get to this point. We got a lot of seniors. So, it's a credit to them to get from where we were 4th last year to 1st this year. Unbelievable.
You had 3 guys in the finals. You were riding a 5-point lead going into the finals. Chris Souza came through. Is he an honorary bomber this week?
We owe Chris Souza a shirt. Yeah, Chris Souza came through big for us. We thought going in we'd have to take 2 or 3 to win. And we got the first one right at the last second. Ramon Santiago had a tough match, but he stuck in there and pulled it out right at the last second. And Mike Knight put the finishing touches on. But we thought we needed 2 out of 3. And we got a little help, so that was good.
Well, an observation from outside as we're being an outstanding wrestler. We're going to take a break and see who we got. Now you have an outstanding wrestler, Ramon Santiago. If you want to comment on Ramon.
I tell you what, he didn't wrestle a great match, But towards the end, when he needed to get it done, he got it done against a kid that took 7th in the state. And, you know, he's on his feet. He was down by 1. And all he had to do was go for it, and he went for it. He had nothing to lose, and he went for it. That's all we could say for him is he had the guts to go for a win. He wrestled to win, and he did.
As we're hearing, Greg Zanetti is our outstanding wrestler in the upper weights for 152 pounds. We can't give you any credit for Zanetti, but you had your own upper weights that really pulled through for you, as you said. Mike Knight, and you also had Mike DeLuca in the finals. Quite a tough break.
Mike wrestled a tough match. I mean, he got caught in a bad spot, but he's having a great year. And getting to the finals, he scored some points for us. He's going to get his mind focused on districts and states for himself, and he's going to get where he's got to go. This is just a little stumbling block for him, but everybody needs that.
So as we close out the 2008 tournament, we all wish you great success. Any closing words?
All the credit in the world goes to our kids. They've been working hard for 3 summers and, put a lot of time into this program to build it from where it's come to. Our assistant coaches, Griff Banos, Tom Martinez, Wayne Vanderhoof, and Lenny Zaleski have been great. We've had a lot of adversity this year. I've had a lot of personal issues, and they've stepped up and pulled up in the practice room to help us out and supervising the kids and working them. So without them and without these kids, we wouldn't be where we are. A very supportive group that's been through a lot, and it just shows one more time that every time adversity comes up, we thrive on it.
Well, on behalf of the GMC, we're all behind you and wish you the best of luck with you and your dad. And for the 2008 tournament, we have a new champion on top, Sayreville Bombers. So for Stu Kohn and John Denudo, thank you for joining us.